Hello, everyone. And if you haven't watched any of my videos before, welcome to the Montreal Spring 2022 Book Fair virtual edition. So I have four presentations recorded. This one is the Random House Children's. If you're looking for my other lists, we also have Knopf Doubleday Adults, Penguin Adult, and then the Penguin Young Readers Group. So just before we get started, a few very short things. I'm not going to do my long spiel that I did at the beginning of my adult presentation for everything, but just a reminder about the holidays. I don't need to go on and on about all of the shipping and supply shortages and reprint issues, but I'd really like to strongly encourage you to get your holiday orders in if you haven't already. And a great way to do that is to watch the holiday bookseller preview that the entire independent team, all of our reps from coast to coast, put together for everyone. We go through the must-have titles, and yes, there are children's titles in there, so it will really help with your holiday ordering. With that all said, let's start with Spring 2022 Random House Children's. Oh, and I'm going to be looking down every now and again. I have my iPad in front of me with my notes. I'm not texting or browsing. So we're going to start with board books. All right, and we have the by now hopefully very familiar Grumpy Monkey. Grumpy Monkey is a star. He's a bestseller. And what I love about Grumpy Monkey is the lesson is, it's okay to have these big feelings, but what we have to make sure is that our relationships don't get damaged while we work through them. And the wonderful thing about the board books is that these were written specifically to just be in board book. They're not the picture books as well. We have entirely different Grumpy Monkey picture books. So the text is meant for that really young audience. So we have Grumpy Monkey, Are We There Yet? And Grumpy Monkey Says No, which I'm sure all toddlers will identify with. And Wonderful Babies, Emily Winfield Martin. You probably know her best from The Wonderful Things You Will Be, which spent 4 years at the top of the New York Times bestsellers list. Don't sleep on Emily Winfield Martin. She is the go-to baby shower gift, and this is a beautiful board book where we get to meet all sorts of babies. And then Moon, another favorite, Britta Teckentrup, known for her wonderful die-cut peek-throughs and nature scenes, does it again. And on this one, we get to see the moon's different phases, which with each new peek-through. What is spring? So this is a wonderful seasonal offering, but you could also put it on your Easter table if you have one of those. Die cut, we get to see the different things that nature and animals are doing with the change of the season. And then something that's definitely for your Easter table, we have Pep the Bunny Easter Egg Countdown. And what I love about this is all the eggs have that wonderful squishy texture if you push them. And of course, have all the beloved Pep the Bunny characters. Naughty Bunny, Richard Scarry. This is a classic. I don't remember him having a handsaw. That is very mischievous. But of course, vintage feel to this board book, and kids love seeing the Naughty Bunny be naughty. Okay, now we are moving on to picture books. And we are starting with Donut, illustrated by Andrea Zweil, who did one of my favorite books, Sweetie, favorite picture books, I should say, Sweetie, which was about a socially awkward naked mole rat. And she brings the same kind of charm to Donut, who is this very scruffy, shaggy, Shetland pony-like unicorn who just wants to fly. And he needs some ingenuity and help from friends. A Gift for Nana, Lane Smith. You're probably familiar with Lane Smith. They've won the Caldecott several times. They're an author illustrator. And here we follow a little bunny who's searching for the best gift possible for his Nana. And he settles on a carrot. And of course, it's the perfect gift because it's from him. But we get to see all the wonderful advice from forest creatures who are suggesting just not quite right things. The Velveteen Rabbit. This is a beautiful gift edition. It's the 100th anniversary of this story, and it really has never gone out of style. And the illustrations are stunning by Aaron Stead, who won the Caldecott Medal for A Sick Day for Amos McGee. I'd like to be the window for a wise old dog. This is one of my personal favorites because really, if you're going to be reincarnated as something, an old dog's favorite window is a pretty good thing to be. It has the feel of an instant classic, and it's just asking kids to picture things from many different perspectives. And we have this whimsical illustration that goes along with it. So at this point, I'm going to stop to say we don't have interiors on the PowerPoint, but I have sent links to both the Catalyst and Book Manager catalogs. And if you're following along there, you should be able to see spreads as we go. Okay, no bunnies here. This is also super fun. Might be my read aloud of choice from this list. If it looks familiar, it's because it's the illustrator of A Very Impatient Caterpillar, which is with Scholastic, and I have read that about a million billion times to my nephews. And then we have the author, Tammy Sauer, who is the author of Wordy Birdie, who is a parent and teacher and librarian favorite. Sorry about that. So this is one that you could have out before and after Easter, as well as during the holiday. And it's all about this very trickstery rabbit who has to dissuade a wolf from believing that there are any bunnies around, which might seem like an impossible task, but he manages to do it and do it quite well. All right, from the very best-selling how-to series, How to Babysit a Grandma, Grandpa, we have How to Welcome a New Baby, a perennially popular topic for kids' books, and sure to do it with the same sense of fun that all of the other how-to books have. Mako and Tiger, two not so friendly sharks. I love this one as well. Scott Rothman, you know his name from Attack of the Underwear Dragon, which did incredibly well. And then Mika Song illustrates one of my favorite Random House children's graphic novels, Donut Feed the Squirrels, with Norma and Belly. And here we have two of the ocean's most ferocious predators who are trading verbal barbs and very silly sentences throughout until they actually have to team up together to escape a fisherman's hook. This is another great read aloud with lots of laugh out loud moments. Marley and the Family Band by Cedella Marley. So this is a true story. Cedella Marley is Bob Marley's daughter, and they moved from Jamaica to Delaware, of all places, when she was a child. And in order to get to know their new neighbors, they decided to throw a kind of block party with all of the kids playing in the band. It's a lot of fun, very joyful, bright illustrations. Okay, and another exciting one to see. I'm just going to move my face so we're at the bottom of the screen so I'm not blocking all of these lovely covers. I just realized that. So we have Elise Gravel with Mikhail Place with Pink, Blue, and You. And this is questions for kids about gender stereotypes. Most similar to her book, What is a Refugee? She really breaks this down in a wonderful way for kids. She talks about gender identity and conceptions we might have about what's for a boy and what's for a girl. So, for example, there's a wonderful spread you should be able to see on your online catalogs where Elise illustrates a bunch of objects from roller skates to dolls to what have you, and says, what do you think is for a boy and what do you think is for a girl and why? It's a great, great discussion book for classrooms and at home. It also comes with a poster. Can't lose. Okay, and then I just have this little 8x8 on here for Teacher Appreciation Day because God knows our teachers need it after the past couple of years that they've had. Alma loves his teachers, and this comes with lovely teacher appreciation cards inside that you can punch out and share. Or you could give the book as a whole to your favorite teacher. All right, so early readers and Step Into Reading. This is our chapter books and Step Into Reading series. I'm not going to explain the readers to you. I know you all know what they are. I will say that I put all of our Step Into Readings available for the season in this catalog and in this section of the PowerPoint. They're all of different levels. I know everyone takes different things when it comes to licensing and series, so we'll just quickly go through them and you can see what's available. Uni and the Butterfly. I do have to say Uni is one of our best-selling reader series. Cooking with the Lorax. This is brand new to our Step Into Reading series, level 1. Go Dog Go. This has been a Netflix series since last year now and is still very popular. This is level 2. And then another teacher appreciation book, I Love My Teacher, level 1. Grandparents' Day, also level 1. I Am Brave. This is part of a series where they talk about positive emotions and overcoming, level 2. Then we have This Makes Me Happy, part of our Dealing with Feelings reader series at level 2. And This Makes Me Sad, same Dealing with Feelings at level 2. Oh gosh, yes, a missing puppy would make me very sad as well. And then we have I Am Kind, a part of the Positive Power series, level 2. And then something for your Easter and seasonal table, Rocket Finds an Egg, level 1. Okay, Escape from Minecraft. This has been an incredibly popular Step Into Reading series. This is level 3. And now we're moving into some more licensed. We have Melody Lifts Her Voice, which is American Girl. Hair is Amazing, which is a story about hair care and hair positivity. We have a diverse cast of Barbies, level 1. And then Disney Pixar Turning Red, Step Into Reading. So Turning Red is going to be a new Pixar movie in theaters this spring. Very exciting. We have Boo on the Loose, level 2. And then Belle, level 1. Blue's Clues, which is kind of having a revival right now, level 1. And Search for the Spyglass, Santiago of the Sea, level 2. Space Mission, which is Rugrats, level 3. Kindness Club, LOL Surprise, level 3. This one comes with stickers as well. And then we have some Lego with Lego City, level 3. And this is brand new to us, Nintendo Super Mario, Bowser and King of the Koopas. This also comes with sticker sheets. All right, and now we have some chapter books. So this Minecraft saga, this is one to take a look at. It's number 2. So if you haven't brought it in before, definitely bring in number 1 and number 2. This has done quite well, and it's the only official Minecraft chapter book series. So we have illustrations throughout, similar reading level to A Magic Treehouse, which we have next. Very happy to see these because for a while, Magic Treehouse was really focused on American history. Now we're getting back into nature and some more universal topics. This one is all about snow leopards. And then we have the wonderful nonfiction fact tracker to go along with it. If you haven't seen these before, they are nonfiction guides to everything that the chapter book covers. And yet another Magic Treehouse, this one in paperback, and we're going to Peru to have a late lunch with a llama, which sounds pretty good to me. Okay, so the next 2 are in the early reader section. They're nonfiction, but they're not your typical chapter books. These are kind of a square format, really best compared to the Nat Geo series. And it's totally random questions. Volume 1, a bunch of weird facts. Kids love to read this. So we have volume 1 and then 2. Most of them are nature focused. All right, graphic. As everyone well knows, graphic has been one of our fastest growing categories throughout the pandemic. The demand has been high, and Random House Children's has done an especially good job of meeting the demand with a diverse array of topics for kids and at a lot of different age levels. I always love presenting these. So we have Lips on a Screen, which is the truly amazing story of the man who invented television gaming. Ralph Baer was actually a refugee from Nazi Germany. And when he came to America, he fell in love with TVs, and he was inspired by his love of television programming to create something on the television that you could actually interact with. So it's nonfiction, reading level would be middle grade, and it is graphic. This is super cute. House Cat Trouble. So this is elementary school, but is a level above reading in terms of Dogman and text density on the pages. It's the story of a scaredy house cat who has never been left home alone before and is afraid of defending the fortress. And he has to recruit his other kitty friends. We can see them up in the palm tree there to help him. It's very fun, silly, lots of jokes. And who doesn't love cats? Hilo, starring Gina and The Big Secret. Hilo is just one of those graphic series that has done well for us. It is a perpetual bestseller. Here we have Gina in the lead, and as you can see, Dave Pilkey also approves, which is a good sign for your graphic novel series. And then we have Max and the Midnights from Lincoln Pierce, of course, creator of Big Nate. This is book number 3 in the Max series. They have done really, really well. It's paper over board. They're substantial. They're a great middle grade pick. And we have Max as this fearless kind of tomboy character who's going on these medieval exploits. And in this one, she meets her possibly evil twin. So Katie the Cat Sitter. Katie was probably our most popular middle grade launch of graphic novels last year, and it's a fabulous story. I love Katie. If you have Raina Telgemeier fans, put them onto this. They'll like her as well. So Katie's a young middle grade girl who starts cat sitting for her neighbor who has 220 semi-magical cats. And in the first book, we learn out that her neighbor is actually a superhero named the Mousetress, and Katie becomes her helper and sidekick in book number 2. And also, she learns how to skateboard, very important middle school things. It's a great mixture of the everyday and some magic and adventure thrown in to boot. All right, Mapmakers and the Lost Magic. This is a standalone middle grade. The illustrations are truly fabulous. Again, if you're following along in Book Manager or Catalyst, you should be able to see several spreads on the page. And this is all about a young girl who has always wanted to leave her village. That's been her ambition. And then she uncovers a magic that has been lost for decades and is potentially the only thing that can save her village, which is under imminent threat. So does she stay and help save them, or does she leave and pursue her dreams? Okay, Scout is not a band kid. I really like this one. I was in band all the way through school, although I never played the trombone. I was very lucky. I played the flute. It was easy to carry. So this is about a young girl who, and Jade Armstrong, just a note, she's Canadian as well, which we always love to see, who her best, sorry, not her best friend, her favorite author is visiting a city. And she finds out that the band trip that year is to the same city. So she decides, no problem. I'm going to fake being a band geek. I'm going to fake playing the trombone so I get to meet her. But the trombone turns out to be way harder than she thought. No surprise. I mean, I don't know who looks at a trombone and thinks it's easy. This is super fun, slice of life, middle grade, totally relatable. And then I have especially loved the YA offerings from Random House Children's Graphic. They are just beautiful, and they do a wonderful job of having diverse LGBTQ plus content. Across the Field of Starlight falls right into that pattern. It is a story of 2 non-binary teens who find love for each other throughout space and time and a space war. No big deal. It's sci-fi and wonderful. And Blue also identifies as non-binary. And just a reminder that the YA Random House graphic novel, The Magic Fish, won the Lambda Award. I would not be surprised to see this on the Lambda list either. Okay, and then something that does not need much introduction, we have the Subtle Knife graphic novel. We've done the Golden Compass graphic novels, volumes 1 and 2, and then the complete bind up of both volumes together. Subtle Knife is just going to be one book. And also a reminder that His Dark Materials is now a popular HBO show. There will be a new series this spring, new season, sorry, rather. And then we have Whitebird, RJ Palacio. Of course, you know RJ from Wonder. This is the story of the grandmother from Wonder and her experiences during the Holocaust. It's beautiful, and it's going to be a movie starring Helen Mirren soon, sure to give it a nice little boost. Avatar: The Last Airbender. Avatar has gone up in popularity like crazy over the past year. Also, this falls into the very prominent manga trend slash anime. This is written for a younger audience than the other Avatar books. And it's in paperback as well. Okay, moving on to middle grade. All right, Wonder. I just talked about this. I mean, this is the book that just never stops. And we have a lovely illustrated edition. All of the art is done by Todd Carpenter, who has done Wonder's iconic cover. So this is really the perfect book for any kid entering middle school. Okay, Maisie Chen's Last Chance. Don't tell the others, but Maisie might be my favorite on her middle grade list. This is a story about a young girl who her family is forced to move from LA to a very small community where her grandparents live. And they run the town's long-standing Chinese restaurant called the Golden Palace. They are also the only Asian family in town, which Maisie finds it very hard to adjust to. And to add to the drama, one of their family heirlooms has been stolen and someone has left a racist note. So Maisie is dealing with all of these upheavals in her life, and she also has a mystery to solve. It is so full of heart and wonderful. Maisie's voice is totally infectious. And this is from Lisa Yee, who's also the author of Melissa Min, Girl Genius. Hide and Geek, another wonderful mystery. This one requires you to solve some puzzles. So this is all about a small town that has kind of been kept afloat by a toy factory over the past several decades. And the toy factory is soon going to have to close. We have this group of best friends who know some of them are going to have to move when the factory closes and their parents lose work. So they decide, as kind of their last hurrah as a group together, they will solve a famous puzzle laid out by the toy factory's founder together. There's lots of adventure and mystery in this one, but I also love it because it deals with those harder economic issues. We have a lot of kids whose parents have lost their jobs or maybe had to move over the past several years. And this deals with this in a totally sensitive way. Sneaks by Katherine Egan, who is Canadian. Speaking of fun mysteries, this is Men in Black for middle school. Basically, we have an outcast in school who teams up with the other self-proclaimed weirdos after he thinks he sees his teacher crawling down the hallway. And it turns out that he wasn't wrong, and there's a lot more to it than that. It's really fun adventure, broadly appealing. Another one of my favorite middle grade series, and this is for younger middle grade. You could even maybe put it in your early readers section. And it has a bit of illustrations throughout. Zetta Elliott is Canadian. The Dragons in a Bag series has been fabulous. The first two are out in paperback. I'd strongly suggest bring them in. And she really started writing fantasy because she said growing up, she loved fantasy and she never saw Black children in fantasy. And she wanted to make stories that had children of color at their center. So we have basically children who are rescuing dragons. This is book number 3. They're wonderful fantasy meets adventure stories. Okay, we have some offerings in paperback. As it says in the copy there, The List of Things That Will Not Change by Rebecca Stead had 8-starred reviewed. It's an absolutely stellar story that has been a librarian and teacher favorite. It deals with a young girl who her family is going through divorce. And part of a way that she copes is through list making, which is super identifiable. Mysterious Disappearance of Aiden S. This was the newest offer from David Levithan, who of course we know from Someday, Every Day, and so much more. This is middle grade rather than YA. And it's basically about a young boy who goes missing for several days. Everyone figures that he has run away. But when he comes back, he tells his brother a totally different, fantastic story. And his brother is the only one who believed him. So, what really happened and why does it matter? All right, on to young adult, sex. So I put this in YA, although it could be middle grade as well. Corey Silverberg, I'm sure you've been selling him to teachers and families for years and years and years. He wrote What Makes a Baby, which was for elementary school, and sex is a funny word as elementary to middle school. Sex would be late middle school to very early high school. So probably grades 8 to 9. Well, 10 plus, maybe grades 7 to 9. Here he goes into things in more detail, talks about puberty and gender in more of a complex way. These are really, really fabulous, inclusive resources. I would recommend having one on hand and having this on your short list of special orders for anyone who might need a resource like this. Okay, then Bitter, beautiful cover on this. And Akwake Emezi, I hope you know her from Pet, which was a National Book Award finalist last year. This is just as amazing as Pet was, which was incredibly critically acclaimed. And it's a story, it doesn't have any of the fantasy that Pet had in it, but it is about a young girl who has lived her life in foster care. And she finally gets a scholarship to this art school. And while she's there, there are a lot of social protests going on. And she's dealing with the inner conflict of she's been through so much. Is she allowed to just enjoy herself and paint? Or is there something that she owes to her community and her friends? Really amazingly done. And I also want to flag this. We will be having a Black History Month promotion, which has been very lovingly and carefully curated by Anika Davis and my other colleague, Jennifer. And we have hundreds of titles on offer this year. I don't have the promo listed because it's going to be active starting November 1st. However, you're going to be getting an email from us very soon. I'll try my best to flag some of those titles as I go through here, but I'm sure I've skipped some already. It absolutely is worth looking through for your juvenile as well as your adult section. And the assets are stellar. They're amazing posters and displays. They are by far our most popular physical assets for promotions. Also, we have a lot of front list included on this promotion, which makes it extra worth it. Okay, The Gilded Ones #2. I also really hope that you know The Gilded Ones. The first book, The Gilded Ones, did incredibly well and actually is a BookTok success story, which, I mean, BookTok sells books, periods. We've seen a lot of success with BookTok books and indies. So this is part 2 of the Afrofuturist fantasy series, The Merciless Ones in hardcover. And then we have The Gilded Ones in paperback now. You're on fire. So Julie Buxbaum, you've heard her name in YA before. And this is what she does best. It's a love story, but it's also set against the backdrop of encroaching wildfires. And then one day in a high school, when a fire is set in a girl's washroom and no one will cop to it, that kind of kicks drama in high gear. Her last book was Tell Me Three Things. Okay, Castles in Their Bones by Laura Sebastian, another name that I hope is familiar. This is the start of a new series from Laura, and she's best known for writing the Ash Princess series, Ash Princess, Lady Smoke, etc. And this seems amazing. I think it's one that I'm going to put on my reader as well. It's about an empress who has 3 princesses and her daughters, and they are all just about to be married off in a diplomatic way to various kingdoms. But they're picture perfect on the surface. What no one knows is they have secretly been trained to bring down the monarchies that they're married into and to help their empress mother reign supreme. So the question is, are they going to do this? Or are they going to fall in love with their spouses? Will they stay loyal to their home? Or will they find new loyalties? really excellent, opulent fantasy. It will end like this. Okay. So fantasy in YA has worked for us throughout the pandemic. The other thing that's really worked is teen murders. And It Will End Like This is a twisty teen murder story that will certainly work as well. It's a contemporary take on the Lizzie Borden story. So we have a father whose wife dies and moves on way too fast for his two daughters. But if you think you know how it ends, you absolutely don't on this one. Then we have some paperback offerings. So Dear Justice, which was written by Nick Stone as a sequel to Dear Martin, now in paperback. And then The Way Back. This is one I think that may have been skipped in hardcover. Please bring in the paperback, though. It was a National Book Award finalist, and it's really fabulous. It's a historical fantasy based in Jewish folklore about some teenagers who journey into the far country, which in Jewish folklore is the land of spirits and demons. Okay, Good Girls Guide to Murder. This has worked so well for us, especially during the pandemic. Teen Murder again. This is book number 2 in the series, now in paperback. Definitely bring this one in. And then we have another offering from Philip Pullman. So this is his Dark Materials, The Collectors. This is a small book, different format. It is the same format as Serpentine, which he published several years ago. And this one stars Miss Coulter, of course, one of the most chilling characters from The Golden Compass. It is hardcover and about a novella size, under $20. Okay, so I also know that something people have had a lot of requests for are workbooks. Everyone's been worried about the academic slide that kids are experiencing, not having been in school for so long. So at-home workbooks are a great little boost. And we just so happen to have 3 this year, all Dr. Seuss. And these are our first Dr. Seuss workbooks. You can see there's familiar characters, and it comes with reward stickers, which are always a plus and a huge motivator. So this covers English, math, social studies, and some emotional learning, as well as science. So we have grade 1, that's with Thing. We have grade 2 with Horton. And we have grade 3 with the fox and socks. And of course, all of them have stickers. Very important. Okay, so that is what I have for Random House Children's Highlights. Thank you so much for joining me. Please watch my other 3 presentations if you haven't already. And if you have any questions at all about any of these titles or ordering, just let me know. Feel free to send your orders to me or submit them yourselves. And I've covered all the promos in my Knopf Doubleday adult presentation. So if you want to look at some promotions, take a peek there. All right. Thank you so much. Bye.